Hi, everyone. This is Leslie Russell, and I am so excited for today's podcast, Reinventing Education with Leaders and Visionaries. And I have such an amazing leader on today and visionary who just really grew up in an alternate educational program, one that our family started. And so today's guest is actually my daughter, Carly Russell, and she is 23 years old and just in the job that she always dreamed about having. She is a labor and delivery nurse. And so we're going to get to hear from her about her journey as being a homeschool student and how it prepared her for college and beyond. So welcome today, Carly. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, as this whole world changes and we're in an educational revolution, which is so exciting to be in, like we've really been like pioneering it. So you're going to be able just to really help cast the vision for those who are looking to come into this type of a homeschool hybrid alternate educational experience. So if you could just share like how long you were homeschooled for and just what your experience was like just being homeschooled and being able to experience this type of education.
Yeah. So I started homeschooling, I think it was in kindergarten, and pretty much homeschooled all the way from kindergarten to 12th grade. I think I went to public school for like a little bit in that for like a semester, but it really wasn't for me. But yeah, homeschooling was amazing. There was a lot of independence. There was a lot of me doing what I wanted to do and what my passions were and what inspired me. And I had a lot of autonomy over my time and how I used it. I've done all kinds of homeschooling. I've done like the 2 day a week programs. I've done I'm sitting at my kitchen table and learning everything from my mom, with my sisters kind of homeschooling, co-ops, and then primarily I did my mom's school independent learning academy at the time.
So exciting. So, well, thanks for sharing all that. And I just remember, like, when would you say you knew that you wanted to get into the medical field? Like when did you kind of have that moment of like, wow, I know what it is, like what my calling is?
Yeah. So it was fifth grade, and you had asked what kind of like science we wanted to do that year, and that was something that was great about homeschooling, is that especially in like middle school and elementary school, we kind of just got to pick and choose what we wanted to learn that year. And so you had asked what kind of science we wanted to do, and I think we'd already done botany and some other kinds of sciences. And so at that time, oh, I know, astronomy was really fun too. Um, at that time, I said that I wanted to do anatomy. And so we spent the whole year just learning anatomy in our read anatomy textbook. And I remember just absolutely falling in love with the subject and even like reading the book when we weren't even doing school, like reading ahead of it. And yeah, just becoming super passionate about it and realizing that whatever I did, I wanted it to be something with the science of like the human body. So yeah, that's when I realized I wanted to do something in medical.
Right. So then when you were able to go into high school, I just remember it was really great in that you already knew what you wanted to get into. So how did being homeschooled in high school really help you to be able to get on that trajectory of being able to get into college as a homeschool student, also being a part of the hybrid homeschool program that you were a part of? So if you could kind of like speak about that whole high school experience, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, so going into high school, I knew at the time I wanted to be a doctor. And so since that fifth grade time up until ninth grade, I had just like spent more time learning anatomy and biology and talking to people who are doctors and nurses and in the medical field. And I thought that I wanted to be like a heart surgeon. And so kind of looking at my time in high school, I knew that I wanted to have internships that got me involved in the medical field. And I knew that I wanted to take classes that would prepare me for college. Um, so with that, I took college classes. That was a huge thing. I took biology, anatomy, chemistry, um, let's see, and a couple other classes at the community college, which was amazing about homeschooling, is that you don't have to just be like stuck in one place. You can really diversify um, what you are learning and how you are learning it. And like, I'm not going to go take English at the community college, but yeah, it would be a good use of my time to go take anatomy because there's dual enrollment and everything like that. So that was so cool. I got to learn from amazing professors. And so that was one way that I prepared for college and my career. And then also, I was able to volunteer at my local hospital, UCI, and work with the nurses there. I also had an internship over the summer at UCI with a group of girls, and that was really amazing. There were like panels that would talk about different careers in healthcare, and it was just really empowering, full of some pretty incredible women, nurses, doctors, pharmacists. And so through volunteering at UCI, through that internship, I realized that nursing was more of my passion. And I'm so glad I did, because I can't imagine going into college and thinking, yeah, I want to do pre-med, and then realizing partway through, or maybe even in medical school, that like that wasn't for me and that I wanted to do nursing. So that was something really cool about homeschooling, is that I just had so much time and so much ability to and so much autonomy with what my schedule looked like and what I was learning and what I was doing, that I could really kind of experience different like pieces of what I might want to do for my career at like a very young age, so that once I got into college, I had more direction on what I wanted to do.
Yeah, that's so good. And I think it's important to state that like when you came into high school and when homeschool high school students, because I know that that's a big decision. Wow, like can I homeschool through high school, and should I homeschool through high school? And the reality is that it really does prepare you so well, so that you're leaving high school into what it is that you want to be doing, versus doing the same thing that you've done K-8 that you're doing in high school, and not really having an opportunity to do the internships and learning the way that you want to be learning about the things, so that specifically for your career. So I remember, and I just want to say that colleges and universities love students who've been alternately educated, who have been homeschooled, because of the versatility in the options that they bring. And I remember when you applied to the summer internship, they only took for the first year, I think it was like 35 students, and you had to apply to that. And because of the experience and the richness of the classes that you took at our hybrid program at the time, which was Independent Learning Academy, which has now evolved into Equip 210, it really prepared you to succeed in those university level classes that you were taking for the dual enrollment. So with that,
Yeah.
did when you applied to nursing school, which was very competitive, can you just kind of talk about like the resume that you were able to
Yeah.
prepare, and also how you were able to qualify for a full trustee level scholarship? That would be great.
Yeah. And I just want to say, when you were talking about the preparation that like Independent Learning Academy did for me to go into those like dual enrollment college classes, like it was crazy. I remember going into them in high school, and they were hard because they were college level. But I remember it was like my study group that like the other college students wanted to be in, and like I would have them all like in front of me, and I would be like teaching them the concepts that were in the class, which honestly, I think a huge part of that was just that I was used to that level of independence and that way of learning. Independent Learning Academy really set me up for what the college class looked like. And so that also helped when I was going into like college at APU. But yeah, so when I was applying for nursing school, just in general, it's very competitive. They want a certain GPA, they want certain test scores, they want to see that you've done certain things in high school. And so when I applied, I I was able to put on my resume all those classes that I took, and was able to do pretty well in. And I was able to put in those internships and those volunteer work, and the jobs that I was able to have in high school as well. I had so much, it wasn't so much time, I just had so much control over how I used my time. And I think that's really like one of the beauties of homeschooling. Um, but I was able to put all that stuff on my resume, got into nursing school, and then I also applied to for the trustee scholarship, which was kind of the same application, like similar to nursing school, but we also had to write an essay. And that is something that ILA set me up really well for with the teachers. Like I knew how to write an essay, even throughout like all of college. That wasn't something that was like scary or difficult for me because I think writing in the arts, even though that wasn't like my strong suit, like science was, I was also, sorry, my dog, Champ. Um, I was also, I felt very strong in that area as well. So it makes well-rounded people. Anyway, so I got accepted to interview for the trustee scholarship. And I remember in the interview, like it's scary. I get scared talking in front of people. I've always been that way. I get a little bit nervous, but I did speech and debate all through high school through ILA as well. And so I felt pretty confident talking in front of the panel that we had there. And I remember them saying to me, like throughout the whole time, like, wow, you've done so much. Like, wow, like how did you have all this time in high school? Like, was it like stressful, what, like, and I felt like a pretty balanced person in high school. Like it wasn't actually like, I didn't look back and think, wow, classes consumed my high school. It's just the way that I was able to use my time. Anyways, and they also said something that stuck with me. It was that we love homeschool students, and that was really really cool, that they had recognized that people who homeschool, there's something different about them. And there's something that is special. And I think that a lot of people, when they think about homeschooling and applying to colleges, they think that because you didn't go the traditional route, that that makes you unappealing in a way. I remember that people would say that in high school, like, well, how do you plan on going to college if you're homeschooling? But it's actually the opposite. A lot of colleges love homeschool students. You're able to check all the boxes that need to be checked to go to college and more. And if anything, it makes you stand out because a lot of times we all look the same on a piece of paper. But seeing that you didn't go to the public school down the street, which there's nothing wrong with going to that, but it does make you stand out.
Yeah, that's so great. And it's not even like you were also able to volunteer, you were able to be a nanny, and you were also a competitive gymnast, right up until like 8th grade. So
Yeah.
you've done that as well. So it's just great because, I feel that a traditional education is everybody, it's like one shoe fits all type of mentality where everybody has to look the same, cognitively be able to learn the same. And with alternate education, it's really an opportunity to customize and individualize so that you're able to flourish in your God-given ability that he has like gifted you with. And so what would you just like to say in closing, like parents who are listening to this and they're really looking to make that decision to step out of traditional education, or even teachers looking to step out of traditional education and into hybrid homeschooling, alternate education, what would you say that would just be like something that they could hear from you? I know you've already shared so much, but just something that you want to leave them with.
I think that it's not as scary as it seems, especially for the parents. At my workplace, I've had a lot of the older nurses like come up to me, not older, but like nurses who have kids who are in like 4th grade, 5th grade, in high school, and they say like, oh, I would love to homeschool my kids, but it feels like super overwhelming. Like it seems like a really big step. I like wasn't that great in school, like I can't teach them X, Y, and Z. And so I would just say that like even though it feels scary, there are so many resources out there. You're not doing it alone. And you don't need to be a genius or a teacher to be able to homeschool your kids or put them in a homeschool program. And then for the students, especially for the high school students, um, homeschooling, it isn't isolating. It's not like you're going to this, you're just like sitting in your house all day on a computer with no friends, doing school. It's truly not like that. Um, I had such a diverse array of friendships. In high school, I had my friends at school, and like Independent Learning Academy had an amazing community, but I also had my friends in my college class and my friends at rock climbing and my friends at gymnastics and my friends at work and my friends at church. And so just lots of people from like all different ages and all different stages of life. And I feel like that helped make me a more well-rounded person because I wasn't going to school with my peers who were the same age and the same place as life with me every single day. And again, there's nothing wrong with having those friendships, but I felt like, I don't know, I had like a more rich experience of what community looked like through homeschooling in high school.
Yeah, that's so powerful. And isn't that like how life is? Like we get to have different relationships with different interact with people in different settings. And I
Yeah.
feel like, and especially in high school, a traditional high school is like that students are like ready for that. But they're just not given that opportunity. So through everything that you shared and alternate education and a homeschooling hybrid that we have been doing now for 12 years and now taking it to the next place in where it's going is really equipping children to be the leaders that God's called them to. Like they're like ready to go. They're ready to step into it by high school. And I'm just so excited for giving and bringing that opportunity, and so excited for you having the job that you've always wanted to have. So can you just share a little bit about what it is that you get to do being a labor and delivery nurse? And you graduated in May, and then you were working your job by like
Yeah.
July, August.
August. Man, I wouldn't even know where to start talking about like my job. It's amazing. It's so fun. It's a lot. It's very busy. It's very fast paced, but I like that. But I graduated in May. I got an interview with this hospital in June, got the job then, took my NCLEX in July, and then was working in August. So it was really like boom, boom, boom. But yeah, I have to like pinch myself sometimes that like remembering back to 5th grade and thinking like, oh, I want to do something in the medical field. And then just looking how far I've come since then is so cool. And it's like empowering, and just seeing every step of the way, like the people who supported me to get to where I'm at. And yeah, it was just such a cool, fun journey. And I'm still like excited to even go further than this now, like what's next. But yeah, I love it.
That's so awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on today, Carly. And thank you, listeners. And I'm super excited to one of the upcoming interviews we're going to be having is with Dr. Jeff Myers of Summit Ministry, who's written so many books and so much curriculum, and just that rich curriculum that just blesses the homeschool hybrid community. And so he's going to be a future guest, and we're just so appreciative that we got to have Carly with us today and everything that she shared. I just want to leave you listeners with that encouragement to do it, step into it. It's just so great. And I know that I've just had so much fun homeschooling over the past 20 years and just seeing the blessing that it's been to my children and to so many. We've had thousands of students come through the program, and it's just been awesome. So thanks today, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Bye, Carly.
Bye.